as somebody who is very excited for Avengers Doomsday, I have been getting on all of the theories. Dude, it's just flooded my TikTok completely. Today, we're going to be reacting to 3 Avengers Doomsday theories that are supposedly going to blow our minds. Let's get into it.
These are the 3 craziest Avengers Doomsday theories out there, and they might actually be true. Starting with Theory 1, Iron Man was always Dr. Doom.
Okay, that's the big one that's been going around. I don't know if it's going to be the same one, because we've talked about a theory before on the channel about Iron Man always being Dr. Doom, but that one, it's crazy that it seems possible.
What if everything we thought we knew about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's greatest hero was wrong? This theory flips the MCU upside down. It says the Tony Stark we followed from Iron Man 1 all the way to Endgame wasn't actually Tony Stark.
And it seems like he was actually a variant of Tony Stark. And you know what's crazy is, if this is the same theory, what's crazy about it is I could very well see this actually end up working out. And what's even crazier is they actually built a big story around this, because I was like a lot of people in the sense where I want the MCU movies to be good, but I thought that they were pushing the emergency button when getting Robert Downey Jr. back, especially with all the controversy around Kang. He was supposed to be the big bad villain, but they were also getting the Russo brothers back, and I trust the Russo brothers a lot with the stories that I enjoy.
He was a variant of Victor Von Doom, a Doom pulled from another timeline, adopted by the Starks, and planted inside the sacred timeline, all as part of a master plan by He Who Remains. The logic? Simple but wild. In order to stop Doom, one of the most dangerous beings in the multiverse, He Who Remains had to remove him from the game completely. So what does he do?
Yeah, because apparently he rules over multiple timelines, right? You have to convince him that he's not Dr. Doom. And I don't know if this came from Loki Season 2. I haven't watched Loki Season 2. If anybody could explain to me what what did he just call it? The sacred timeline? Is that like just the main timeline? Is that the one that the movies follow? I didn't know there was a main timeline. Maybe it's just escaping my mind.
What does he do? He plucks a younger, less corrupted version of Doom from a parallel universe and drops him into Earth 616 under a new name, Tony Stark. He's raised by the Starks, inherits their empire, becomes a genius billionaire, and eventually joins the Avengers. In this theory, the entire Infinity Saga becomes a slow burn character arc not of redemption, but of control. This Doom variant believes he's Tony Stark. He becomes Iron Man.
So what the only problem with that is, wouldn't he kind of have like the same kind of conclusion to his idea? Because I know Dr. Doom wanted to take over, right? He wanted to be in control of everything. He thought that he had the best vision for the universe, or whatever it was, right? My comic knowledge isn't that great. My apologies, guys. Why would he become different? Is it just influence from a child?
Sacrifices himself to defeat Thanos, and in doing so, erases the one variable that would have destroyed all of time: his true identity. But here's where it gets dark. After his death, reality begins to fracture, not just because Iron Man is gone, but because the real Doom legacy was never allowed to rise. With Kang defeated, the multiverse starts to unravel. Timelines that were once pruned begin to bleed, and the truth buried deep in Tony's past starts clawing its way back. Now this variant is waking up, either resurrected by the multiverse, revived by Kang Tech, or rewritten by time itself. And when he returns, he remembers who he really is.
How could you remember? You know, how could you remember if it was a different variant of Doom brought to Earth, adopted by the Starks? How could you just remember that you were a different version of Doom? I don't know.
And this time, he's not here to save the world. He's here to rebuild it in his image. This might sound insane until you look at the meta breadcrumbs Marvel's been dropping for years.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. There's a lot of it that ends up making sense, and I hope that we continue to go through it. There's another thing that I wanted to talk about with this entire thing, by the way, and you know how they were talking about the idea of him always being Dr. Doom and he needed to sacrifice himself, excuse me. I've heard a lot of people talking about, like, what if Doctor Strange actually saw a ton of possibilities, but he did end up knowing when he looked into all those features that Tony Stark had to die. And so he kind of like, all right, Tony, you know what you have to do type thing. That would be very interesting.
Let's rewind to 2005. Before RDJ ever put on the Iron Man suit, he auditioned to play Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four movie.
He did?
Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau even talked about it publicly in Marvel's own Iron Man anniversary video. They said Robert had already come through for Doom before they considered him for Tony Stark.
Wow, could you imagine the difference in that if he never actually was part of Tony Stark? Oh, but it's so difficult. Dude, it's so difficult to believe that this would have been the plan with the Russo brothers from the beginning. You know? Oh, maybe they just came up with something so big brain, but there's a lot of evidence behind it. Sorry.
I remember you had all met with him already for like Dr. Doom or something on another project.
So what if Marvel is finally cashing that in? Feige loves meta storytelling. We've seen it with Ralph Bohner in WandaVision, Channing Tatum's Gambit cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, and every multiverse tease Marvel's done since No Way Home. They know fans remember this stuff. They want fans to scream when the puzzle pieces click. So RDJ...
Yep, and what's fun about this, and this is why I've been enjoying the build-up for Avengers Doomsday, when was the last time that people have been theorizing about what's going to be happening in movies this much? I'm actually really excited for Avengers Doomsday right now.
His return in Avengers Doomsday, it's not just a nostalgia play, it's the twist. Think about what the Russo brothers said recently. There's nobody else on Earth who could play this version of Doom like Robert Downey Jr. That's a big statement. It implies Doom will feel like Iron Man, sound like him, move like him, because maybe he was him. And here's the kicker. This perfectly fits the infamous Iron Man storyline from the comics, where Doom tries to redeem himself after Tony's death by becoming Iron Man.
Really? Huh. Again, my comic knowledge is very, very, very little. And I don't know if there's actually been a story where Tony, like this whole thing happened where Dr. Doom was actually, or Tony Stark was actually Dr. Doom this whole time. I don't know if that's something that happened in the comic already.
He wears the suit, he fights evil, but people don't trust him because deep down, they know it's not the same man. Now imagine that playing out in reverse. Tony Stark dies and then returns, but he's not really Tony, he's Doom, finally reclaiming the legacy he was denied. So how does this all come together? It starts with the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, and the cracks forming in its control. With Kang defeated and the sacred timeline no longer stable, the entire system begins to break down. Pruned timelines are leaking, variants are escaping, and the Void, the final dumping ground for reality's mistakes, is becoming active again.
So that's where I need to brush up on. I need to watch... Dude, the thing is, I really liked the first season of Loki. I just never got around to watching the second. I was just like, I'll get to it. So I'm guessing a bunch of the Doctor Doom variants are going to be on the loose now.
And this is where Doom comes in. Now fully awakened to his true identity, Doom realizes that his rise was stolen.
Hang on, so that's where I'm confused. How? Who? Like, if it's Tony Stark, Tony Stark's dead. That's where I'm a little bit confused on. If anybody could explain in the comments, I would appreciate it.
The TVA didn't just erase bad timelines, they erased him. They replaced him with a puppet. They gave his face, his future, and his arc to another man, the Iron Man.
Yeah, but wouldn't... Wow, my brain's hurting from this one. Am I stupid? I might just be dumb with this whole thing. He's alive and doing his Doctor Doom stuff in another timeline, isn't he?
And now that everything's collapsing, Doom wants it back. He infiltrates the TVA. Maybe he hacks their tech. Maybe he corrupts the remaining hunters. Or maybe he just walks straight through their broken gates.
Dude, that card up there, it's gone now. That card up there was made for exactly me. I explained the multiverse and the MCU for 14 minutes.
Powered by a mix of Kang's technology and his own dark sorcery. His goal? Not revenge, not domination. He wants to restore his place in the multiverse. And to do that, he sets his sights on the Void and the Citadel at the end of time. That's where Loki currently sits, literally holding the multiverse together. He's the only thing standing between total collapse and structured reality. And Doom plans to take that throne.
we got the Fortnite version of Doom? Hey, you spent a little bit of time in Fortnite.
If Theory 1 is true and Tony Stark was secretly a Doom variant, then his death in Endgame didn't just end a saga, it broke the multiverse. Which leads us to Theory 2.
Yeah, but how? That's where I'm confused. So Doctor Doom died in a timeline. So? What about all the other Doctor Dooms? And why does that awaken anything?
Let's start with that 14 million future scene again.
Yes.
We're told that Strange is just watching, that he's scanning the outcomes trying to find the one where they win. But we never really understood what watching meant. Is he just a passive observer? Is he looking at each possible timeline like a TV show? See, in Multiverse of Madness, we learn a lot more about how timelines work. We see that reality is fragile.
I would imagine that what he was doing was kind of like fast forwarding through every single possibility. And it was probably in there for what, years upon years upon years until he actually came out.
That incursions, collisions between timelines, can wipe out entire universes. That certain decisions, even small ones, can cause chain reactions that destroy worlds. So, what if Strange knew that? What if he picked one path and didn't just observe it, he nurtured it? What if he made a butterfly effect that pushed certain timelines to intertwine? What if he was choosing a reality where the final war wasn't just against Thanos, but against the very fabric of the multiverse. And here's the kicker. It's not like Strange doesn't make huge, risky choices.
Yeah, I guess he has done that before. But I was more so thinking like he wasn't making a mistake or anything. I was kind of on team, oh, Doctor Strange saw the potential for Doctor Doom, and if Tony's alive, this is what he's going to become, and then we're going to have a villain that's much, much greater than Thanos. I thought that's kind of like maybe where he was going, because I've always thought it was a little dumb where it's like, oh, there's only one version where we all win. I always thought that was dumb, right? But it worked out because it was like such a cool movie. It'd be crazy if this was the game plan from the get-go.
He's the same guy who risked all of reality just to get Peter Parker into college. So if the multiverse was already unstable, maybe he didn't just want to win. Maybe he wanted to break it carefully, so that something better or more controlled could rise from the ashes. Now here's where things get real. We all love Tony Stark. Genius, billionaire, the guy who started it all and gave his life to end it. But let's be honest, he created Ultron, he broke the Sokovia Accords, he invented time travel, he opened doors.
Yeah, but why did he do that stuff, man? And Ultron, you could say, hey, Ultron, what was that meme with Ultron? He took a look at the internet for 5 seconds and decided humanity needs to get out of here. And he created time travel for a good reason.
Still don't know how to close. And it all started with one moment when he flew into the wormhole in Avengers 1. That wasn't just a heroic sacrifice, it was a spiritual collision. Tony saw something beyond the stars, and he was never the same. Now let's connect the dots. In Age of Ultron, Tony says his vision, the one Scarlet Witch gave him, wasn't a nightmare. It was his legacy. He felt...
I don't remember what it was that Scarlet Witch ended up showing him. But even like to talk about going in space, didn't he just see all the Chitauri? Dude, this video is making me raise so many questions in comparison to... to when I ended up going into this. Like, yeah, you know what? There's some theories out here that it could be Doctor Doom. I hope you guys are enjoying the video, by the way. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying it so far. We talk about movies, TV shows, anime shows all the time on this channel, and you can bet we're going to have more Avengers Doomsday content.
And what if that vision wasn't planted by Wanda? What if that feeling started in space? When
Tony yeah, I forgot about that. I wanted something to come from that. Because, dude, I remember back in the day, everybody was like theorizing what he saw, and I guess we all forgot about it. I forgot about it. Oh.
Cosmos, and something touched him back. What if Victor Von Doom touched his mind? We've seen plenty of multiversal leaks suggesting a connection between Doom and Stark. Some even theorize that Doom may have been watching Tony across timelines, maybe even leaking knowledge or influence into his mind.
Yeah, but that, again, my question comes back to that. Why? Like, does he just want to fix every version of Doom ever? It seems kind of weird to me if that's the case.
And Strange would have seen it. He would have seen the branching paths where Tony becomes too powerful, too reckless, and starts collapsing the timeline from within. So, what does Strange do? He picks the one future where Tony dies. Not just to stop Thanos, but to stop what's coming after.
Yeah, you kill two birds with one stone right there. You kill Thanos and you kill the villain that's much worse than Thanos, which is crazy. I only recently figured out, and spoilers, if you're somebody who's really into comics, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I saw that one where Doom just walks up to Thanos and like takes his spine out. Crazy, man. Crazy.
He creates a timeline where Tony's sacrifice opens the door for a replacement, and that replacement is Doom. Here's where a multiverse of madness becomes key. We learn that Strange's actions caused an incursion, a collision between Earth 616 and Earth 838. These are timelines crashing into each other, threatening to wipe out both realities. But what if that wasn't an accident? What if Strange wanted that incursion? He knew the multiverse had to be unified, or reset, and the only way to do that was to break it first. Look at 838, they defeated Thanos.
I have never noticed that detail before. I've never noticed that detail. Are you kidding me? What the hell was I looking at? Okay.
They had an Illuminati, but their world wasn't safe. They were still affected by what happened on June 1st, 6, and there's an empty seat at their council table. People say that seat was meant for Kang, but what if it was for Doctor Doom?
Oh, could you imagine? Dude, if they saw that, if they were building this story from the get-go, why did we have such big hiccups? I mean, Disney, but like, the potential was there for such a cool story, man.
Maybe that world was Doom's domain, a world where Doom was Iron Man, or where his mind lived inside the tech Stark created. Maybe Strange pushed the incursion to that specific timeline because he knew that's where Doom had to rise. That's where he could draw him out, or unleash him. It's the ultimate gamble, break reality just enough to reveal who's really behind the curtain. Now we come to the final part of this theory. Where's Doom? Why haven't we seen him in 838 or 616 yet? Because he's in the Void, the place where pruned timelines go. The dumping ground of the TVA, the back door to the Citadel at the end of time.
Yeah, but I thought that Doctor Doom would be, to my knowledge, Doctor Doom is like the most powerful villain, or one of the most powerful villains of all time, like stronger than Galactus, stronger than Thanos, and he conquered like the gods of the Marvel universe at some point. My details on that are fuzzy, of course, but why would he just be hanging back?
Where Loki now sits, holding the multiverse together. That's where Doom has been hiding, and Strange knew it. He didn't just see a future where they won. He saw a future where Doom was left behind, waiting. Because when the time is right, Doom will escape. He'll march on the Citadel. He'll face Loki, and he'll try to take his place as the anchor being of the multiverse. And if he wins...
Yeah, I need to watch the second season of Loki because I don't know what's going on with him. I guess he's taking Kang's spot.
Battleworld begins. A new reality. Forged by the mind of a man who was once Tony Stark's shadow, and now the god of all timelines. This theory changes everything. Doctor Strange didn't just pick the path of victory, he picked the path of controlled collapse. He planted the seeds of Doom's rise because he knew the multiverse needed to be broken to be saved. And now, we're watching it all unfold. If you've made it this far, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, man, like this has been a really good video. This is my first time watching the channel for, I forget what it was called, but I'm assuming SpideyParker by over here. Again, always with reaction videos, guys. Links will be in the pinned comment description down below. Please go check it out. Very, very, very cool channel so far. I'm definitely going to be watching more content.
Was Strange, hit that like button. This was it. In sight as Tony Stark. This is Theory 3, the Doom impostor. Let's be clear, Robert Downey Jr. is returning in Avengers Doomsday. But what if he's not just playing a Tony Stark?
Hang on, there's only one Tony Stark Iron Man. Dude, it's like Iron Man and Doctor Doom in one. That's a cool picture.
Variant. What if he's playing Doctor Doom, pretending to be Tony Stark? Not a variant, not a copy, but the actual corpse of Tony Stark resurrected and hijacked.
That'd be crazy if that was the case, dude. You know what I can't wait for? I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. You know what I can't wait for is they gotta have this. There's no way they don't. The way that they reunite whoever's Tony, like Doctor Doom, right? Tony Stark's body with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That is going to be one hell of an emotional roller coaster that I'm excited to see.
Here's how. In Multiverse of Madness, Wanda Maximoff introduced the concept of dreamwalking, projecting your consciousness into another version of yourself across the multiverse. At the end of that film, Wanda destroyed every version of the Darkhold, the book.
Oh, I see the vision. I see the vision there. Oh, that would be so cool. Dude, there's so many ways that they could take this. Oh, man.
That enabled dreamwalking. But let's be real, that doesn't mean dreamwalking is gone. It just means it's harder. Doctor Doom is not just a sorcerer. He's a scientific genius and one of the most dangerous mystics in the Marvel Universe. In the comics, he's literally been Sorcerer Supreme. If anyone could find a backdoor into...
Is that Doctor Strange's coat or cape? Yeah, I'm sure, like, with the supposedly the power level that Doctor Doom's at, he's going to be able to get around. He's going to be able to find a way to start using that dreamwalking.
Dreamwalking without the Darkhold, it's Doom. So here's the theory. Doctor Doom finds a way to dreamwalk into Tony Stark's dead body at the moment of his death in Endgame.
Oh my god, right then. Could you imagine we get a replay of it too? Dude, this guy has to be buried. This guy, what was it? What, they put him on a boat? He's in a coffin on a boat just floating away, pretending to be dead? Oh!
Possesses it, revives it, and uses it to return to the sacred timeline as Tony Stark. This is straight out of the Reverse Flash playbook. In The Flash, Reverse Flash killed Harrison Wells and impersonated him for years, manipulating Barry from inside the team. Doom's pulling the same move here, except on a cosmic scale. He walks into the Avengers' lives wearing Tony Stark's face, literally. Same voice, same personality, same memories, and they believe it because they want to.
How would you even explain that? We watched you die, this happened, I have something with the Infinity Stones. The cosmic energy from the Infinity Stones kept me alive, it revived me. That's wild.
They need to believe it. After losing Tony in Endgame, seeing him alive again would break them emotionally. Peter Parker would be devastated. Rhodey would hesitate. Strange might suspect something, but no one would be ready for the truth, especially when Doom, as Tony, helps the team through a crisis.
Oh, dude, could you imagine that it has some sort of like Sentinel Prime opening, you know, where Tony's talking to all of the Avengers. They're being a little bit skeptical, right? And all of a sudden, just like, not necessarily a sword, but like maybe magic, or like what Dr. Doom did in that one comic strip that I saw. He's talking in a circle with the Avengers over here. Could you imagine the way that they reveal that? It just like Sentinel Prime. They're talking, how'd you get revived? What's the plan? What's going on with this? Boom, grabs somebody's spine. Someone's gone, just like that. Oh, what a reveal that would be, dude. What a reveal.
He earns their trust, rebuilds the team, takes command, and then when they're all united and vulnerable, he betrays them, kills someone, reveals himself, drops the mask. And here's the kicker, we might have already seen this coming. In a behind-the-scenes photo on Instagram, RDJ was spotted with mocap dots on his face again, even though Tony Stark is supposed to be dead.
And then the Doctor Doom poster back there too.
But what if those dots weren't for a clean Tony? What if it's for a burned, damaged, half-decomposed version, the destroyed face from Endgame under the mask?
Oh, that would be wild, dude. That's my favorite theory so far. I really hope that's the one they go with.
That's why Doom wears the Iron Man suit, not to honor Stark, to hide what's left of the man he used to climb back into the world. So why go through all this effort? Because Doom has one goal.
Okay, that's where I'm confused. I'm glad we're answering that question.
Become the Anchor, being of Earth 616. Deadpool and Wolverine introduced Anchor beings, characters whose presence stabilizes their entire timeline. Logan was the Anchor of the Foxverse, and Tony Stark was the Anchor of Earth 616.
If anybody could explain why again, I'd appreciate that. Like, why is there an Anchor? Why does it revolve around one person? And why does Doom want to be that? Is it just ego? Does he want to be the center of every single reality?
When Tony died, Earth 616 began to crack. And because 616 is the sacred timeline, every other universe began to unravel with it. So Doom,
so it's probably a safety tactic, I'm guessing.
finds a loophole. He doesn't just become a variant of Tony, he literally takes his place, steals his body, and uses his identity to reclaim the throne as Anchor.
And now I'm still confused, because what version of Doom? Isn't there like a million different versions of Dr. Doom? Wouldn't they all want to do the same thing? Or why would any one of them want to do the same thing?
But Doom doesn't stop there. He infiltrates the TVA, steals Kang's tech, and merges it with his own magic. His goal is not to restore the multiverse, but to reshape it in his image. That's where Battleworld begins, a Frankenstein reality stitched together by Doom himself from dying timelines. To pull that off, he needs one last thing, Loki's power. Because at this point, Loki is the one holding the multiverse together.
But I guess you could, I would imagine that it's pretty simple to get whatever's going on with Loki if you're Dr. Doom and the power level that he has, eh?
Sitting on the throne at the Citadel at the end of time. And Doom wants that throne. A cosmic race across the timelines begins. The multiverse collapses in real time, realities fold into each other, dead worlds leak into living ones, cities vanish mid-sentence, stars explode into oblivion. The Avengers, reassembled in chaos, Sam Wilson, Strange, Bruce, Captain Marvel. The Thunderbolts unleashed with full government backing, Red Guardian, Yelena, US Agent. The Fantastic Four, racing through the wreckage of dimensions in their multiversal ship.
That'd be crazy. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the way this video is presented too. Like, the sound effects, the music, the way they're going through everything. I am definitely going to be watching more of this channel. Maybe even some more reactions, but I'm going to be watching this on my own time, dude. I'm excited. This is a very, very well-presented video.
X-Men of Earth 10,005 fighting. Not for redemption, but for survival.
And what about the Guardians of the Galaxy? Aren't they around?
Because their world is already dying. Each team has a reason to stop Doom. As they race through time fractures and collapsing timelines, their goal becomes clear. Reach Loki before Doom does. Because whoever reaches the throne first decides the fate of the multiverse.
That's even crazier, dude. That's even crazier. I thought that, with the way that I was imagining it, it was like the movie would kind of kick off with Dr. Doom taking a spot of Loki, then being in control, then going into Iron Man. Dude, Theory 3 is my favorite theory. Holy.
And Doom isn't racing. He's already walking through the void, armor crackling with stolen Stark tech, and Kang's temporal energy, his mind burning with sorcery forbidden by even the Ancient Ones. Every step warps time. Every breath erases possibilities.
Crazy, crazy, dude. Hang on, I want to read that for a second, okay? I know you run worlds and slave your own alternate selves. Call yourself Doom Supreme, the Doom above all. I know that you deserve to die 1,000 deaths, starting with this one. Wow.
He doesn't need to run. He's already won once, by being Tony Stark. And now the heroes must face a god who built Battleworld, while wearing the face of the man they swore to avenge. One throne, one god, one last stand.
Dude, that is a hell of a theory right there. I loved all 3 theories. I thought they were all great. But number 3, I hope that happens, man. Oh, this video unironically just got me even more excited than I already was for Avengers Doomsday. I can't believe it, dude. I hope the MCU is back, dude. DC's in a good spot. Marvel's in a good spot. Oh, I'm so excited, man. If you want to continue talking about the Avengers, why don't you check out an old review that I did for Iron Man? I would love to have you over there right here, guys. I'm slowly doing a review, a nostalgic review for all of the Infinity Saga. You can check that video out right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.